Uh, I haven't commented very much about all the stuff happening in Europe right now, all of the migrant crime. I guess I did talk about the movie Citizen Vigilante, but um, I haven't really talked about that those stories as much because what is there really to say? What is there to say that beyond that this is appalling, and people are getting fed up, and the authorities don't care, or it's worse than that. They either just don't care, or they more than they like to see things like this happening to the native population. I mean, I, I, there's these are things people are already saying in spades. So when I come up with something to say, whether in written form or a video or whatever, I try to like have it be something new, something that's a little different, and I have thought of something, an angle to this whole to the migrant crime that's happening, and the unrest that it is arousing, the fact that more and more Europeans seem to be absolutely fed up by it, and yeah, like it's one thing after another. It just keeps happening over and over again. This kid in France, I guess just named Louis or Louis, I guess they would call him in France. 17-year-old who got beaten up and murdered by a gang of North African migrants, according to what I've heard, that are now in custody. Um, and of course, there's all these protests, and of course, the one of the ministers of the governments is saying, "Hey, the far right is just needs to stop exploiting these tragedies." And I mean, that's so played out. That response is so played out. Like, oh, the far right, you're far right if this makes you upset, you know, and you demand that action be taken. You're just far right. I mean, nobody's scared of that anymore. Um, yeah, and it's not far right people. It's just normal people who would be apolitical. Um, it's it's gotten that bad, uh, and of course, it's symptomatic of what's happening across the Western world. But that's also something that you already know, and I already know, and I don't want to belabor that point. And I don't want to be blackpilled and say, it's just something it's just happening because they're making it happen, and there's nothing we can do about it. I hate that whole perspective more than anything. What I'm wondering about right now is what I mean, and this is just this is an honest question, okay? It's not a rhetorical question. It's an honest question. Why uh, are the migrants not saying to their own kind? Why are they not speaking up and saying to their own kind, "Look, uh, cool it, stop with the raping and the killing um, of the native European citizens. Just cool it. Just cut it out. You're not helping us. You're not. People are going to look at all of us like we're criminals now. The more you do this, uh, the more we're all in hot water. This is not working in our interests. So stop it." Why aren't they saying that? Are they saying that, and we just aren't hearing about it? Um, there have to be some of them there have to be some of them who are thinking, "Oh boy, this isn't good." When there have to be some of them who are when they find out the latest story that um and they real and they know they don't even you don't even have to like. It's not even a question. I mean, some people out there say, "Well, they don't care. They hate the host population." And I mean, maybe that's true for a lot of them, but I you don't even have to. You don't even have to like the host population. You can look down on them and see them as disgusting infidels or whatever, and still understand that this is not working in your interest. You're already uh in a position where you uh are not looked on favorably by many of the population, and the more you commit these heinous crimes, or the more your kind, the more your people, your tribe commits these kinds of heinous crimes, then the worse it gets for you. Why aren't they saying that? Or are they saying that and we're just not hearing about it? Are they maybe saying it among themselves? Um, but they don't want to be heard saying something like that, because then they'll just be thought of as sellouts or something like that. You know, and they don't want to have their authenticity questioned. They don't want to be called uh, Uncle Tom, whatever the equivalent of Uncle Tom is to them. Um, yeah, so that's the angle that I'm coming at this from, and I know people are going to have just like if you're just going to have a generic answer like oh, they don't care, or just like I'm tired of just you know please if please thoughtful responses only. Okay, thoughtful responses only. Don't just uh, don't just have a knee jerk reaction. I'm not saying you have to be pro migrant. I'm definitely not saying that. But don't just come out and just say it's just in their nature. They can't help themselves. Blah blah blah. I mean, it's just not because I'm offended by that idea, but it's just I've heard it so many times, um, and I don't buy that they're all like that. Um, don't get me wrong. I'm don't I'm I don't think they should be in Western countries. Most of them. I mean, maybe a small amount of people can not of non-Western people can, if they agree to be naturalized, if they agree to adopt the customs of the country that they've emigrated to. Maybe a controlled, a small controlled group of people. Um, you know, maybe I don't know if that's not hardcore enough for you. I'm not married to that either. I'm just saying I don't instantly think that they all should just go back, but there are there are way too many of them, yeah, and there are way too many of them committing awful, heinous crimes, and they're digging their own graves. The more they countenance this, the more, if you happen to be a migrant and you're watching this video, like that's very unlikely. But if you are, or if you have friends who are, if you know somebody who is, I really want to know, and I really want to have an answer. My question is again twofold. why aren't they saying, guys, let's stop it. This is bad. This is bad for us. I'm not saying you have to like these these white people, these Europeans, these disgusting infidels, but just be pragmatic. If we're law abiding, they have it's going to be harder for them to make a case that we need to that bad things need to happen to us, that we either need to go back or something even more drastic. So yeah, there's that's my earnest question. My earnest question to the migrants.